Hey guys, happy Sunday to you. So yesterday I made a couple canes. They were considered like Northern Star canes, and they turned out really good, but I didn't release it because oh my god, my instructions were so confusing to me that I had a feeling it would have been way too confusing to share. So we are going to attempt to try it again. So we have a nice clean workbench, and all I did was made a Skinner blend with ultramarine and white, and I rolled it up so that the white's in the middle. And now all we're going to do is squish it. And I'm going to make this small, believe it or not, me making a small cane, just because of the fact that it uses a lot of translucent. And so I didn't want to use that much, especially now with the shortage. I've only got a couple pounds left, and I have no idea when we're going to get more. So we're going to get the little air bubbles that are stuck in here. But as long as you kind of know how to do it, then I think that should be good enough. So basically, I'm not rolling it so that it's longer. I'm rolling it so that it's wider. And if you can find an easier way to do that when you roll the cane up, then fantastic. This is how I kind of did it yesterday, so that's why I'm just doing the same thing. So instead of doing my regular 1.5 inch, I'm going to go as far as it is right now, which is 1.25, but I'm going to just take off the edge a little bit and clean it up. Okay, so we're going to go, what do we want to do? We want to do, see, here I go again. All right. No, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to go 2 inches because I really don't want it this wide. So sorry again. I don't know why I'm confusing, but I am. So we're going to go 2 inches, and we're going to go 1 inch high. That way we get a nice small cane to start out with. Okay, and the reason I'm cutting it this way is I want it to be solid blue on both sides. So I want the ends to be on my side. Okay. So now we're going to do the same again. So we're going to go 2 inches and 1 inch wide. But now we're going to cut that in half. That way you've got the covered end on this side and again on this side. Okay, so we're going to line this up because we want to make a perfect square here. So obviously these are going to be a little longer. Okay, and that's basically it. So now what I want to do is I want to put a strip here, 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 and here. So I actually made 2 of those canes. I might have to go back and get the other one. Alright, so let me go ahead and grab that other cane and I'll be right back. Okay, so I came back and I started and I forgot the camera was off. So I cleaned up thinking I wouldn't need this piece, and that was wrong because I do need it. So this one I'm going to make long and 1 inch high because it's going to go like this. Actually, it's going to go like this. So we want to make sure that we have enough to make, this is from the other one, and I was able to make 1, so I basically just need 3. And these are 1 inch high, correct? So that's what I need, is 1 inch high. So since I just need 3 more, we're going to make 3 of these. Okay, so at 1 inch high, I'll pull this just a little more. I still feel like I'm confusing you guys. I'm really sorry about that. I hope this makes sense. So basically, you're going to take your, not a jelly roll, just your regular cane roll, and you're going to squish it down to whatever size that you want to do. The reason I cut it to 2 inches is because I wanted this top one to be at least 2 inches long. And then to make the 2 inches, I needed to cut these in half. So the inside that didn't have the blue is on the inside, but the outsides still have the regular blue. And hopefully I will cut this to where it's gonna work, because I made a few that I cut it wrong and it just ruined the whole thing. Okay, so we're gonna go one. Before I cut any more, let me make sure. Perfect. Okay, we are good now. And this is basically all our cane is we are now done. So now we're going to line this back up. I just want to make sure it's even. So your long piece is 2 inches, a border on the back end of it, and these are 2 inches, but they're kind of cut in half with the border on the back. Now these have a border on the front and the back, and I want these a little smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut off that little border. And then I'm going to just pinch that end. Okay, I still have the border on the back, and that's how you're going to line it up. Okay, so you want to line it up so you got that little kind of star shape. Okay, so we just want to take off this end a little bit. And I'm pinching it, and that just helps it fit into this little V shape a little better. Okay, so that's that one. This one, I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a V. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about what the other side looks like, because once I pack this with translucent, I can kind of fix it all. Okay, this is a little shorter than it should be. So just bring it out a little bit. And again, you're going to pinch the side that does not have the blue on it. Okay, and you're going to put that right in there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of manipulation, but usually goes right in. Okay, so this one, we're going to make sure I'm cutting the right side. Yes. I got to keep checking. Okay, so that's basically it. Now, you don't have to take off the border. I do. But if you want to leave the border on, you can, and it probably will make this whole project less confusing as well. Okay, so I notice that this one seems to be a little longer, as well as this. These two fit perfectly. It might actually be a little too long, so we're going to cut just a smidget off of it. Okay, I'm going to do that. So those look good. These look a little long. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of this one. I'm going to cut just a tiny bit at a time so that I don't accidentally cut too much off. These might be a little thicker too. That's probably why. Okay, so I'm going to try that again. I got a piece of dog hair right there. I have no nails to get it out. Okay, I think I can go a little bit more. Okay, that one looks better. Now we're just going to do this one. Alright, so this looks like that they're fitting pretty much close to it. Okay, so basically that's it. So now all you're going to do is you're going to take translucent and you're going to pack the middles. So with that, I'd like to move them over a little bit. And this is why I didn't go bigger and higher like I normally do to the 1.5, because I mean right there, that's a lot of translucent to pack. And since this is just going to be some backgrounds for some beads I want to make, I didn't want to make it too big and waste all my translucent, because I used translucent more than any other color. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to fill that in. So I'm going to go really high on this, because I want it to get as far in there as I possibly can. And then I want that back nice and flat. So I'm just going to cut it right there. And let's see where we're at. I'm probably going to have to pull more translucent out. Okay, so I want it a little fatter, so I can squish it. And I can trim a little bit of that off. That one fit perfectly. Okay, so that one's good. Yeah, this might be a little too thin. Okay, so let me go ahead and hit pause real quick. I'm going to grab some more translucent and condition it. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have a couple more cut out. I need 4. So again, we're going to kind of thin this up. Oi. This guy, he's not touching, he's kind of curving on the side. I don't want that to happen. So I may have to make this guy just a little longer. And I'll go around all of them and probably do some minor adjustments. May have to make these a little bigger. As long as it just keeps that right there, we might be okay with that. Let's see what it looks like when we put the other one next to it. Okay. We don't want that bending like that. That should be nice and straight. So this one, yeah, once they get in there, even when you don't really push them together, they can really stick in there. Go a little higher on this one. There we go. That way it's keeping that guy from turning. Okay. So, as you can see, this guy's a little small. So we're going to kind of push him up a little bit. I don't know why he's small. Alrighty, so there is our cane. I'll make him a little more pointy. Boy, he just wants to stick in there. Hopefully I didn't just screw that up. Yeah, it's a little soft. They just want to move around on you. Could be just the end as well, so not really going to worry about it. But if you see, this one's a little bigger, so we're going to pull some of this translucent off, and we're probably going to put a little bit of translucent around it anyways. It just makes it a lot easier to reduce, and it saves the ends. And what I mean by saving the ends is when you reduce this and then you cut into it for whatever project you're using, as you know, your knife can get kind of, or the clay can get real soft. So when you're pushing this through, it takes these edges and kind of scrunches them in, and then it distorts the end. So I always try and put translucent around that, and that gives it a little bit of protection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through the pasta machine and just do a thin layer around it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and we've got this rolled at a number 1. I just want to make sure I got at least one side even. So I'm just going to trim it right there. Really sticky. Okay, now we're just going to trim the top off. I'm so bad at making anything even. I think I'm just afraid of cutting into it, so I always have my blade a little tilted up, and Yeah, I don't seem to cut a straight spot there. Alrighty, so we're gonna get that little blue out of there, and we are going to put that back in there. Alrighty, so now we are going to reduce it. So let me reduce it. I'm going to reduce it into 8 equal parts because I am going to take this and squish one side to make it a triangle. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the cane about 5 inches, which is halfway through where we got to go. But I don't want to destroy the cane and then have to make it into a triangle when it's where it is lengthwise, because I'm afraid that I'm going to mess it up. So I am going to cut off an edge here just to see where we're at, even though it's not a great spot where I cut it at least I know that this is the long piece. So the center piece is right there, and what I want to do is I want to take these 2 blue lines, okay, and I want to squish them, and I want that center circle to be the top of my triangle. And this takes a little bit of time, so don't rush it. Okay, and we want this really pointy, so we're gonna push it as far as we can. I didn't take it off of this one because then I'd end up with a lot more waste while I keep doing this, so I just left that there for now. Okay, so now what we really want to do is get to 10 inches here. So we still got quite a bit of ways to go. Okay, so I just keep going back to it. I pull and stretch it out, and I keep making this top nice and pointy. I should probably just cut that, but I'm wondering if I can squish the bottom out, then there will be a little less waste. Okay, so we're gonna squish that top. Okay, so we gotta fit 8 pieces into basically a circle, so even the sides need to be nice and okay, so we're gonna keep going. This is when these come in handy, and I don't know where my other smaller one is, so I'm gonna have to do it this way. But this helps just to get your sides nice and equilateral. Although we may need it just a little thinner up on top. Alright, so this is our top piece, right? Okay, now I'm lost as to where my top piece was. Okay, and this is just a little thinner. So we're just gonna play with the bottom a little bit. Probably gonna go to about 11 inches just to make sure that I've got all the bad parts off, because that's gonna have to come off right there. Okay, so this is the top right here. And it's gonna look really funky when I cut this up, so beware. It is gonna look weird, but it'll all work out in the end. Okay, so I have 10 pieces. We're gonna go 1 1/4. I'm just gonna move it down. I can add, but three pieces, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I have 8 pieces. And yeah, I know it looks like an alien right now, but that's okay. So I'm hoping that they're sharp enough that I can do this. If not, we'll have to take it apart. It was a little bit smaller than the other ones, so that's never good. And as you can see, it kind of bulges out on the side, so that's going to give us a problem to not have that little hole in the center. So if that happens, what you need to do is take a rubber stamp, one of these, or an acrylic block, and just make sure that your sides aren't bulging. Okay, because when you squish up that top, they end up bulging a little bit. Okay, so there's one. I'm trying really hard not to handle them too much, because then I'll get them soft and then I will never get this into shape. So again, I'm making it as thin as I can. Okay, now that was a perfect side. This one's still bulging on me. So I want this one to match up to there. And I want these identical. And I want them to come to that little point right there. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make sure this is really squished. And again. Oop, this one needs to come that way. Okay, so one more. Oops. Okay, the way I have these set up is he's in. Okay, nope, got that one wrong. He should be pointing in, he should be pointing towards him, like that. So this one is pointing the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so now we pretty much got, if we were to lay it down, the circle in the middle, the little hole, is barely there, which is what we wanted. Okay, so now we're going to do that with these. Okay, and we're just going to squish them. And this one we want that way. Okay, and you want them kind of touching. That's a thick, that's the thick, that's a thick. Okay, these are just, sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what side is what. Okay, so there we go. We need 2 more. I'm going to do both of them at the same time. They kind of look like stick figures. They don't resemble a normal or any kind of a star at this point, but and I think I squished the wrong one, which I probably did. So yep, that one somehow I squished it the wrong way. So this is going to be the thin one. Okay, and I just have one more. But yeah, I squished this one the wrong way. So we're going to bring that back in. Okay, and this one, thick, thick, thick. Gotta go this way. Okay, so that matches up. And that matches up. Okay, so there is your cane, and I think that last piece made my circle a little bit where I didn't want it. That's about as close as I'm going to get it. So now I'm just going to round it like this. And I'm putting pressure on it just to close up that circle in the middle. Okay, so that's our cane as it is now. And I know that it still looks like a bunch of stick figures, but let me go ahead and reduce it and we'll come back to show you the reveal. Alrighty, so we are back, and I'm just gonna cut the ends off here. Now the clay is really soft, so hopefully I can get a really nice cut for you. I'm just gonna go a little longer just to get the sides a little bit smaller. And I should just leave that big. So we're going to go 2 inches. Because it's soft, I'm just going to roll as I cut. Usually it leaves a mark though. I don't like doing it this way. Alrighty. So, just show you how it finished. There you go. So those funky little legs that we saw. Oops, sorry about that. Oh my gosh, we're gonna lose this. So the legs we saw turned into a really nice flower pattern in the middle. That's why you can never judge a cane from what it looks like till the very end. So those are our canes today, and I did that in a graphite pearl, and I also did it in a gold. If I can find the gold, I will show you that one. There you go. So it'll basically work under any color that you use. I think red would look good, yellow, green. So I'm going to play a little bit more. I might do a green and red. That could be the backing for some really nice Christmas beads. since that's coming up. But I just need to make some holly leaf canes and stuff like that so we have stuff to put on it. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you later. Bye.